Tucked away in the rolling hills of Berkshire, amidst the idyllic English countryside, lies Broadmoor Hospital. It's a place that feels strangely out of place, a Victorian fortress casting a long shadow over the otherwise tranquil landscape. Most people know it only by its reputation, whispered in hushed tones. Broadmoor, home to Britain's most notorious criminals, the criminally insane. I've always been drawn to places and people shrouded in myth and misconception. So, with a mix of apprehension and curiosity, I stepped through Broadmoor's imposing gates. My journey would take me deep into the heart of this institution, beyond the sensational headlines and into the lives of those living and working within its walls. Broadmoor has been a fixture in the British consciousness for over 150 years. Founded in 1863, it was initially envisioned as a place of asylum, a sanctuary for those deemed criminally lunatic. Its imposing architecture, a testament to Victorian sensibilities, aimed to both contain and isolate. Over the decades, Broadmoor has housed a diverse and often infamous population, from serial killers to those declared insane after committing lesser crimes. The names of its residents, Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, Ronnie Cray, the Notorious gangster, have become synonymous with the hospital itself, further cementing its image as a place of fear and fascination. The air within Broadmoor is thick with history, a palpable sense of lives lived and often lost within its confines. Walking its corridors, one can't help but feel the weight of the past, the echoes of anguish, and the constant tension between security and humanity. Yet beyond the imposing facade and the high security measures, Broadmoor is, at its core, a hospital. It's a place where individuals grapple with severe mental illness, where lives are pieced back together, and where hope, however fragile, flickers amidst the shadows. My first encounters with the residents of Broadmoor were a mix of anticipation and trepidation. How do you approach a conversation with someone who has committed a heinous act? How do you reconcile the individual with the crime? The answer, I quickly discovered, lay in listening. One patient, a middle-aged man named David, spoke with quiet dignity about his struggles with paranoid schizophrenia. He spoke of the hallucinations, the voices that tormented him, driving him to a desperate act he deeply regretted. His remorse was palpable, his desire for redemption evident in his tear-filled eyes. Another resident, Sarah, had been admitted after a violent incident stemming from severe postpartum psychosis. She spoke about the overwhelming fear and paranoia that had gripped her, the terrifying feeling of being disconnected from reality and her own child. As I listened to their stories, I began to see beyond the labels, beyond the diagnoses. I saw individuals battling with the complexities of their own minds, grappling with the consequences of their actions, and yearning for understanding and a chance at healing. Life inside Broadmoor is structured, a carefully calibrated routine designed to provide stability and encourage progress. Mornings begin with medication rounds, followed by breakfast in communal dining areas. The atmosphere is subdued, a mix of quiet conversations and the clinking of cutlery. Days are punctuated by therapy sessions, individual, group, art, and occupational. These sessions offer a lifeline, a space for patients to explore their emotions, develop coping mechanisms, and confront their pasts. I observed a group session where residents shared their experiences with remarkable candor and vulnerability, supporting each other with a depth of understanding that surprised me. The road to recovery is rarely linear. There are setbacks, moments of frustration, and the ever-present weight of the past. Yet amidst the challenges, I witnessed glimmers of hope, moments of breakthrough, and the resilience of the human spirit. A young man, previously withdrawn and hostile, began to engage in art therapy, his paintings a vibrant expression of his inner turmoil and his journey towards healing. A woman, once consumed by paranoia, found solace in gardening, nurturing life in the hospital's greenhouse. These small victories, these steps towards wholeness, served as powerful reminders of the potential for change, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Section 5. The Weight of Stigma Life After Broadmoor. The path to rehabilitation for Broadmoor's residents extends far beyond the hospital's walls. Reintegration into society, however, is often fraught with obstacles. The stigma attached to mental illness, particularly when intertwined with criminality, can be a heavy burden to bear. Upon release, former patients face an uphill battle against prejudice and fear. Finding employment, housing, and even social acceptance can prove incredibly difficult. The label of Broadmoor patient often overshadows any progress made, casting a long shadow over their efforts to rebuild their lives. The system, too, can feel like a revolving door. Many patients, upon release, struggle to access adequate support in the community. This lack of resources often leads to relapse, further entrenching the cycle of institutionalization. Despite these challenges, there are stories of hope, of individuals who have successfully navigated the transition and built fulfilling lives beyond Broadmoor. They serve as beacons, demonstrating that recovery is possible, that second chances are deserved, and that society's perception of mental illness needs to evolve. Section 6. The Faces Behind the Uniformed Staff Perspectives. Behind the high walls and security protocols lies a dedicated team of professionals, nurses, psychiatrists, therapists, and support staff who work tirelessly to provide care and support to Broadmoor's residents. Their work is demanding, often emotionally draining, requiring a unique blend of compassion, resilience, and unwavering professionalism. Speaking with the staff, I was struck by their unwavering commitment to their patients' well-being. They spoke about the importance of building trust, of seeing beyond the diagnoses, and recognizing the humanity of those in their care. One nurse, with years of experience at Broadmoor, shared her perspective on the importance of patience and understanding. It's about meeting them where they are, she explained, recognizing that recovery is a journey, not a destination. Another staff member, a psychiatrist, emphasized the need for a holistic approach, addressing not just the mental health needs, but also the social and emotional well-being of each individual. Their dedication and empathy shone through, reminding me that even within the confines of a high-security hospital, human connection and compassion remain paramount. Echoes of the past, glimmers of the future, Broadmoor's evolving approach. Broadmoor, like any institution with a long and complex history, has faced its share of criticism and controversy. Over the years, its methods have evolved significantly, moving away from the more restrictive practices of the past towards a more patient-centered approach. While the Victorian architecture and high walls remain, the focus today is on therapy, rehabilitation, and reintegration. There's a greater emphasis on understanding the root causes of mental illness, addressing trauma, and equipping patients with the skills and support they need to manage their conditions and rebuild their lives. The use of seclusion and restraint, once commonplace, has been drastically reduced, replaced with de-escalation techniques and a greater focus on therapeutic engagement. The hospital has also embraced new technologies and treatment modalities, recognizing the importance of staying at the forefront of mental health care. While challenges remain, Broadmoor's commitment to progress is undeniable. The institution is striving to strike a delicate balance, maintaining security while fostering an environment conducive to healing, growth, and ultimately, hope for a brighter future for its residents. Beyond redemption, understanding the complexity of mental illness. The stories I encountered at Broadmoor challenged my preconceived notions about crime and punishment. They forced me to confront uncomfortable truths about the criminal justice system and its often inadequate response to mental illness. Many of the individuals I met were not simply criminals, but individuals grappling with severe mental health conditions that contributed to their actions. Their stories highlighted the urgent need for a more nuanced understanding of mental illness within the legal system, one that prioritizes treatment and rehabilitation over punitive measures. The concept of redemption itself felt too simplistic, too binary. How do you measure remorse? Can a single act of violence, often driven by forces beyond an individual's control, define a person's entire worth? These questions lingered long after I left Broadmoor. They served as a stark reminder that the human experience is complex, that mental illness can manifest in myriad ways, and that judging individuals solely on their past actions without understanding the context of their lives is to deny their humanity. The power of empathy, bridging the gap between us and them. My time at Broadmoor was a journey into the heart of human darkness and resilience. It forced me to confront my own fears and prejudices, to recognize the fragility of the human psyche, and to acknowledge the fine line that separates us from those we deem other. The residents of Broadmoor, despite their pasts, their diagnoses, and the stigma they carry, are ultimately human beings deserving of dignity, compassion, and a chance at redemption, however we choose to define it. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder that mental illness can affect anyone, that it knows no social, economic, or cultural boundaries. By sharing their experiences, by listening with open hearts and minds, we can begin to bridge the gulf of misunderstanding that surrounds mental illness. We can challenge the stigma, advocate for better treatment and support, and create a society that values compassion over condemnation. A call for compassion, rethinking crime, punishment, and the human potential for change. As I left Broadmoor, the imposing gates clanging shut behind me, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was leaving a part of myself behind. The experience had changed me irrevocably. It had opened my eyes to the complexities of the human mind, the devastating impact of mental illness, and the urgent need for a more humane and compassionate approach to criminal justice. We must move beyond the simplistic narratives of good and evil, victim and perpetrator. We must recognize that everyone, regardless of their past, possesses the capacity for change, for growth, and for healing. Broadmoor, for all its history and notoriety, stands as a testament to this potential. Within its walls, amidst the challenges and setbacks, hope persists. Lives are rebuilt, connections are forged, and the human spirit endures. Let us not forget the lessons learned within these walls. Let us carry with us a renewed sense of compassion, a commitment to understanding, and a belief in the transformative power of human connection. For it is in recognizing our shared humanity that we find hope, not just for those within institutions like Broadmoor, but for all of us.